So Hayden, what kind of cigar you got there?
This is the Cuba cigar.
Junior.
It is made by Acid, and it is it's the best cigar I've ever had in my life.
I like acid cigars.
Yeah,
They make cigars with acid?
it is ruined. I wish, man.
Not that.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure you can find them.
There's the finest Cubans, and then there's acid.
Yes.
But it is.
And after 3 puffs, you don't know the difference.
No, you don't.
all the colors start to.
It has ruined all other cigars for me, though.
Yeah.
So that's the bittersweet.
All right, nice.
Well, we're here at Turkey Camp,
Turkey Camp 2021.
and it has been a shit show.
It's been a goat rope.
It's been a shit show.
Yeah.
A shit show.
I'm very poor.
That's very aggressive.
Different person.
So as we're sitting here in camp,
Yeah.
someone's rolling in hot. All right,
Get
Looking
places
for those
to go
late
at
night burns.
midnight.
right.
I guess coming back from dinner or something.
No, that's somebody
Maybe
else.
just drove right into his.
It's right through that RV. He got aggressively close.
Hey, motherfucker!
Here we is.
Exactly. That's.
This is midnight
Heard you been talking shit.
snack.
So
You've been hitting on my old lady. Been trying to squeeze on my old lady.
He just walked right straight through that door. No knocking or nothing.
Dude, what if you just heard like
Knocking boots.
2 gunshots? Then somebody gets out,
Dude, I'm
turns
out.
that car back on, and then turns around and leaves.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll just go lay down in the shadow of this truck right there. Like y'all do y'all. Y'all don't know I'm here. Bye.
Okay, bye.
I'll call the cops when that body's cold. Like go.
Yeah, I ain't trying to.
I ain't trying to
get
deal
into
with
that
this. No
Yeah.
Walter White for me.
No, not at all.
No.
But, yeah, we're in deep Louisiana. I guess not deep Louisiana. We're minutes from the Texas border.
We're southwest Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
In the hills of Louisiana, which is rare.
We got to see some pretty good pretty good hillage.
Our version of mountains or elevation.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We've struck out on turkeys
We've swung and a miss.
per the usual.
Man. Yeah.
It's been a
But we've seen.
go.
All right. So how many turkeys did y'all see today?
one. Yeah,
We saw 2. We saw how many yesterday?
3 or 4,
4.
maybe. Yeah,
3.
Three.
2 for sure. 3.
I think you saw 2.
I mean, I'm
and I saw
definitively
one of
like,
those.
and we'll get to it in a
Who
minute.
can keep
Like,
count when the numbers?
should have
this
had
high.
a bird on the
So
ground
high.
yesterday.
So high. And it's this high.
And then 2 weeks ago, we were out here for the lottery hunt and saw 8.
Alright.
So, for the season on this property, that puts us. I can't math right now. 8, 9, 10,
7,
11, 12,
400,
14, 15 birds.
Yeah, 37.
We're at 15 birds.
420.
Yeah, 420.
420 birds. Should have shot 1.
Have shot none.
Have shot none.
Yeah.
Per the
So if
usual.
you're
Saving
tuned
money on shelf.
I really just wanted to fire a gun today.
if you're
That's
tuned
all
into
I
this
wanted.
podcast to try to figure out tips for turkey hunting,
Don't.
you are have
Keep
come
looking.
yeah, you come to
This
the right
Please
place.
hit that unsubscribe button.
Find you a different podcast.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to provide that to you right
Please go to the hunting public. Those guys know what they're doing. We
now.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a couple first timers on the podcast.
Yeah.
So we got Hayden,
Saint
Hello.
Romain.
That's
Yeah.
me. Hello.
we got Tommy,
Tommy
Hello.
Killen.
How's it going?
we got Brook. Brook's never been on the podcast.
Bougie, 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 boo.
Nope. Heard lots of things. Haven't been.
First time caller, long time listener.
We're gonna open the lines in a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna take some phone calls deep in the woods here. Yeah. No, and then you have obviously Abe and James. The other mutants are not present for this adventure.
Austin, fuck you.
Yes. He won't listen to this.
Of course not.
Cool. No.
But I'm putting it in the universe. If he was out here, I'd fight him like Usman.
And break your leg?
And other things.
Austin loves to fight when he gets drunk.
I know. Which is why I said it.
Oh my god. Me and him got into a fight. We were blackout drunk at the Super Bowl. Like, blackout drunk.
How'd that go for you?
I mean, I could lose against that tree over there. I'm
Well-
pretty sure your son could kick my ass. And he's 5.
So, not featured on this podcast is 2 5-year-olds sleeping in the tent right now.
Yeah. It's been an
Which-
experience.
I gotta say,
They've been troopers, man.
man,
No doubt. Noah's been here since Thursday.
5-year-olds
Yeah.
walking 4 miles
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not complaining and then running the rest of the day.
Noah did 4 miles on Friday. Today's Saturday. Let me see how many miles approximately he did. This is gonna take a minute, so. No, it's not. I did 3.9 miles today.
We didn't walk 3 miles. What did we walk? 3 miles?
Dude,
2
we
miles?
were
I'll say-
sitting in the woods for maybe an hour 20 max.
Yeah.
Noah was with
Total.
me all of
4.5
maybe
miles.
half a mile of
4.5
that.
miles. Nice.
So he's done.
Sadly, I didn't even close any of my activity rings.
Damn it.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
If you just lower the number, you close them every day.
Yeah, you lower the expectations.
Bring yourself down.
If you lower your expectations, you'll never be disappointed.
so my 5-year-old did 7.5 miles this weekend.
Since Thursday night or since
Or some
Friday,
Friday.
morning. Yeah.
Thursday we were just at camp.
Yeah.
Rode some roads, whatever, but we're just at camp. I'm not mad at that.
No, it was good. It was a lot of fun. What a blast. So James and I got here on Thursday, and
There was a night, evening.
yeah, got camp set up. And Friday went out, stayed up way too late, as per usual when the two of us get together.
Italy.
We drank all of our beer in the first night.
And we didn't come here with a 6-pack.
Yeah, it's not like we were underprepared. We were just like,
No.
not prepared to drink until 2 in the morning.
You underestimated your alcoholism.
Yeah,
Not alcoholism, drunkardness.
drunkardness. I'm not a fucking quitter.
Exactly. Those bitches admit they have problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
Exactly.
Understood.
You're consumed the
Speaking
The
of,
full bottle of
bottle
Lago.
yeah,
the
talking
Ron
about the guy who
Swanson.
drank an entire bottle of scotch.
That was impressive.
Him like
Oh my God.
solo.
It's only 80 proof, guys. Don't be that impressed. He just
Yeah.
tastes like a campfire.
80 proof. Oh my god, that stuff burned me like the devil.
Dude,
One
I
last
went
pour.
through-
Anybody want something before I
No.
kill it myself?
No, I'm sitting there sipping on this Elijah Craig. Oh yeah, we're also not like we're drinking beers, but we're also like drinking some amazing whiskey.
Yeah, you brought a backpack full of bourbon and
Yeah,
whiskey.
the guy who called
Bourbon
us
and
an
scotch.
alcoholic showed up with an entire pack full of whiskey. I mean, he showed up with like $400 worth of whiskey or more.
Quite an adventure
Yeah.
we've been on so far.
So, Abe and I got here Thursday. We camped, had a good time.
Yep. Stayed up
Ate,
late.
whatever. Stayed up late, drank. Got up Friday.
So go hunt.
We went and hunted.
We hunted Friday morning.
Hunted
Hunted Friday all day. Really.
Yeah. The whole day.
Yeah.
Batten down the hatches.
We
That happened.
we
As a prep.
I got I should have killed a turkey. But no. I should not have killed a turkey.
No.
Yeah.
I could have killed a turkey
If you were a little less
Friday if I was a little less, you know,
I guess
we did the right thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
We're
you
running
could've
the
never
roads.
known if. Yeah.
and
you weren't so pro responsibility.
yeah, if I had a little less responsibility, we would have some turkey meat in the cooler right now. But we, part of the thing here is after the morning hunt, hang out, whatever, and then you just like run roads, finding birds, trying to put stocks on, like get into situations. And we run into this bird that was not super spooked when we kind of came across this hill or whatever, and it's like running down. It's like walking or trotting down the road, and so instead of like left or right into the bushes, and I jump out. Abe's driving, son's in the truck, and this like road sort of like switchbacks. It's like our version of a switchback, like up this hill or whatever, and I, sort of stalk in tight to the left side of the road, with a bunch of brush and cover, and this bird like sort of turned the corner. I get to the sort of opening of that corner, and there's some brush, but I get to a point where I can see where it switched back to the other side, like going up the hill. But between me and the other side of the road, that sort of is the loop of the road. And I pull up the binos, see that bird. I'm looking like down its back and at the back of its head. It's at 40 yards. Could have easily shot this bird. But I had no idea. Like it wasn't like.
Was it a boy? Was it a girl?
Was it? Yeah. Was it both? I don't know.
Could have been both.
I had no idea if it was a hen.
Don't put your pronouns on it.
It was a big bird.
Yeah.
Like it was a
shim.
It was a shim. It was
I
a
was
big bird.
reading that the females can have beards. It's like a 10 to 20% genetic mutation. Blah blah blah. But
If you shoot a turkey with a beard,
you're legal.
like wildlife fisheries isn't gonna fuss
there's
it.
leniency. Yeah.
You're not getting whatever. But I just wanted to like be totally sure because Louisiana has, just like the rest of the South, we're having like very much intense population issues with our birds, crashing populations, and we got to keep our hen numbers up. And I just whatever didn't want to pull a trigger and mess up. So I didn't have positive sex ID, and I'm looking at it, and then it turns.
A couple times at the bar.
I know. Well,
Dude looks like a lady.
you in
man.
Thailand, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Or East Dallas.
Yeah. It pulls up, and it's like at 70 yards now, out of range, and it turns up that last leg of switchback, and it's got a beard, and I could have shot it in the back of the head. It would not been a layup shot at 40 yards with 12 gauge.
And responsibility is ridiculous.
But it was like, man,
Yeah.
the devil and the angel that was pulling, like, I just wanted to pull that trigger so bad.
Yeah. That's why I shoot anything that moves. It's just a common rule I have. Just shoot first, ask questions later.
That's not the way to
Sort it
do
out.
this.
No?
It's a lot
No.
easier that way.
Exactly.
It's,
You kill more animals that
no.
way.
It's easy. Yes, you kill more animals that way. It's easy in the front end, but it can get real difficult and harder in the long run, right?
No.
Not if you have a shovel.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 2 in camp.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plenty of ways to dispose out here.
Just go set it on the generator.
Yeah.
Y'all
I think I got
are,
shot a hen.
y'all are wrong.
Yes.
So put it in their
Yeah.
RV.
Or go put it in Walter White's RV back on the hill.
True. They'll never
There's a
question
couple
you.
of abandoned RVs on this piece of property that are just like straight rape cabins.
Scary. Super scary.
We
I
passed
poked
that
my
shack
head.
today too.
I poked my head
Stabbing
close
cabins.
into one.
Stabbing cabins.
I went and looked inside that one, and I don't understand. Like, it was just chock full of Zatarans,
Crab boil.
crab boil, like the big gallon jugs of crab boil. Of course, all you shitheads in Texas don't know what that is.
Whoa.
Yeah, aggressive. Fuck y'all. Seasoning the outside of crawfish.
They do that.
They do that.
It's so
And they
terrible
suck.
too.
It's so terrible.
What do you mean they season the outside of them?
They cook
They
it
boil
in
them
salt
first,
water, like it's lobster.
and then they pour the seasoning on.
Yeah.
They put them back in the ice
cooler,
chest, and then they pour the seasoning on
and then mix
after
it
it's
up,
boiled.
and they're like, "Now it's crawfish."
It's like you're gonna eat the shells or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bunch of lollygagging stupid sons of bitches.
I've never seen this.
That's
It's
how
terrible.
I've been to some bourgeois crawfish boils in Lockport.
Yeah.
So they do that there, and it's terrible
It's
because the
horrible.
meat is bland,
Your
but
fingers
your
are-
lips
are
and your
on
fingers
fire.
are absolutely ablaze.
Incinerated.
horrible.
It's
Yeah,
it's
man.
like worst of both worlds.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
good.
people
and
swear by it,
crawfish
too.
is the worst.
I just
Can't do it.
You know who knows how to cook some crawfish? This is Brook Bourgeois
Bobby.
right here on this. Bobby Bourgeois, maybe,
Bobby Boucher.
maybe.
I did a crawfish.
I learned it from Bobby Boucher.
I know. Man, we had some great crawfish a couple weeks ago.
It's the perfect time of year, man.
That was a really good boil.
You really want to let them get big enough, but still be sort of young and tender. Once they start, once you hit May, obviously they're pretty huge by that point, but the meat's tougher. It takes longer to soak up the seasoning. So what you need to do is they sit in that hot water for an extended period of time so that they can get the flavor. But unfortunately what that does is like it breaks down the shell, it breaks down the meat even more. So when you're peeling it, like the meat will break up inside the shell, so it gets really hard to peel. So May crawfish are hard to cook, and then March, early to mid-March crawfish are typically too small. So like that sweet spot is April. So this is the time to do it.
By the way, we're doing a crawfish. Speaking of, we're doing a crawfish boil in the 21st of May.
Oh, I'm not doing. I won't be any part of it. I've sworn off May crawfish for the rest of my life.
No, you're gonna be there. You're gonna help me, and I'm gonna use your gear.
So, Brooke, what's your favorite thing to put in a crawfish boil aside from crawfish? Like, vegetable-wise?
I kind of like. I was a pretty picky kid growing up, so I wouldn't eat a lot of vegetables and crawfish balls.
As a kid,
I mean, I've
it's like
gotten
today.
better. Right, I've gotten significantly better. Crawfish balls are the thing that got me eating some vegetables, like onions
God,
in
those are
particular,
good. Yeah. Like,
are stupid
make
good.
them sweet.
And a crawfish, yeah,
Like caramelize them.
yeah.
So, I went to a boil the other day and we put Brussels sprouts in
Oh,
the
shit.
crawfish boil, and that was the best thing there. Like, of the potatoes, the corn, never put Brussels sprouts in there, and it was like soaked up the juice immediately.
Like I will.
Soybeans are good too in it.
Really?
Yeah, edamame is good. I mean, Brussels sprouts.
I've never thought about that.
People do this more
My
than-
favorite's the garlic.
They do much. Oh, I love the
Garlic's,
garlic.
You know, that's a
That's a
classic.
staple, man.
I know that's like, hey, I love Disney. Like, it's so good.
But
though.
Disney's good for a reason.
Yeah,
Right.
something's a cliche for a reason.
There's a time and a place for it. Just like throwing some sausage in there.
Sausage,
yeah.
corn. I love corn in there.
Even little mushrooms are good
Mushrooms?
too.
Oh man.
Even more Disney.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
little whole mushrooms.
Oh yeah, we do that.
I did one for my fantasy baseball draft.
Have any of you guys ever had the Vietnamese style corn crawfish?
I mean,
It's similar to what we were talking about earlier. It's like the seasoning goes on
Seasoning's on
after,
the
right?
outside.
Yeah, but okay, no, but unlike the crazy spicy stuff that you're talking about, or just too much, what they do is they also toss it in a little butter sauce. So you got some lemongrass, you got some garlic.
Yeah,
So it's not spicy for the sake of being spicy. And
I got you.
honestly, it's fantastic. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, I've seen some videos on it. It looks better than what I've experienced.
It's-
Where do they come?
The places in town that do it, it's not cheap, but it's worth trying once. If you've never had it before, it's worth trying for sure. Like I said, it's never going to be the classic thing that you're used to, but it's really good.
So, is there some place like in Baton Rouge or
Chow Yum Fat
Lafayette?
is really good.
Chow
They
Yum?
even put here's a sleeper. They put a quail egg in there. Quail egg with the lemongrass and the boil seasoning.
I do
They
like
do.
lemongrass.
Fantastic.
Love lemongrass.
Lemongrass is
Lemongrass, butter.
Yeah.
Imagine your crawfish with lemongrass and butter.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
crazy and it's
sounds
wild,
great.
but it's delicious.
good. Okay.
Interesting.
I know in Houston's got a lot of places that do it Vietnamese style too.
I mean, why not make some post crawfish ball dish with those types of ingredients? So you know how you have like your crawfish etouffee or crawfish omelet the day after, and you have all that fat left over and all those tails left over, and then now you toss that in some lemongrass and butter. What can you do with that?
I mean, I'm sure you could do the same thing. You could do kind of, I don't know what you specifically do with it. Maybe throw it in like a soup or
Like a pho.
do an omelet like that too, but I don't know.
I on my last crawfish boil, my hands were jacked because it's the closest to a drug deal I've been in a long time.
What? Wait,
You just
Like,
connected the crawfish boil to a drug
connect
deal.
how your hands get jacked to
Texas.
So,
a drug
like,
deal.
Buying crawfish in Dallas.
Did
is
they
like
break
a drug
your
deal.
fingers?
It's like a drug deal.
He's like, hey, yo, you got
Yeah,
3
like,
pounds.
I
for-
call this guy and I'm like, hey, I need some crawfish, and he's like, cool, man. Like, meet me in the CVS parking lot.
No.
And I met him in a CVS parking lot. He had a Sprinter van, refrigerated, legit operation, and he opened the doors and there's just sacks of crawfish.
Yeah.
And the best part
when he
about it
opened
is,
the door-
Then how did your hands get messed up?
so then I cooked all of them, and I could only buy a 30-pound sack, and I had 4 people over at my house, and so I had a ton of crawfish left over.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my neighbor was like having a garage sale that day, so I was like, hey, I'm doing a crawfish boil, and y'all need to come over when you're done with this thing. So her kids came over, and they're like 20, 21, 22, whatever. So we were like, oh, grab beers and drink, and we're eating crawfish, and they came over. I took them a cooler full of crawfish,
Nice.
and was like, here. And so I shelled so
You
many,
peeled a bunch?
peeled a bunch, and that's how my hands got.
What'd you
messed
do
up.
with them? The tails. Still got them?
Still got
Froze
some,
it up?
but did some omelets.
Oh
I
man.
love the crawfish omelet.
My
Is it
crawfish
really good?
omelet.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's the best crawfish omelet.
Yeah,
Hot take.
Hot take here.
hot take.
I know James was hating on
Real good.
Dallas crawfish
It's
and
fire.
blah blah blah, but Doty's. Have you ever eaten
Doty's,
Doty's?
yeah.
Doty's has the best crawfish. in
Doty's
Dallas.
got some good crawfish.
I want to get back to this lemongrass thing. Like, so why don't we the next day you make like a lemongrass soup, right? And throw the crawfish in there.
I mean, if I like gun to your
Yeah.
head, like someone was like, gun to your head, James, what are you gonna do?
I don't
You
know
have
what you
crawfish
do.
and lemongrass. I'm going to make like a coconut like crawfish bisque with
Right.
lemongrass. That would
That sounds incredible.
That sounds really
Yeah.
good.
coconut
There's
broth.
nothing
Like,
stopping you. Here's the problem. Every time I've gotten the Vietnamese crawfish, which has been like 2 or 3 times, there's never been leftovers. We eat it.
right.
It's delicious.
No doubt. It sounds great. It looks
Yeah.
great.
Like, have y'all ever seen those like
It's the-
coconut broth? Like,
It's the
like
tossing,
it almost looks
the
like a
tossing
bisque.
butter in the end. The tossing butter in the end is the cheating
Oh.
part.
Yeah.
I think you do that with Cajun spice crawfish.
Yeah.
It'd be another level too.
Yeah.
But
And yeah.
Good point.
it's from the Paula Deen school of cooking. Butter makes everything better.
Right.
She had some things wrong for which we don't need to talk about, but everything else was pretty good.
Yeah.
What was her
Another-
deal? Was it like insider trading?
Oh
Or
no.
Child porn?
That'll
I
be
don't
for the
know.
next
no.
episode.
What
when
is-
I'm not here.
She
She likes to say the N word.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she had some problems with
She would have gotten along really well with my grandmother.
She's from a different generation.
whatever quote air quote nonsense.
A different generation.
But here's my problem with all that. You're alive today. Your brain didn't stop working. Like, stop it.
But your brand stopped working.
I don't know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did it? I think people are
No.
back on Paula Deen.
Their entire worldview is like based on the idea
A
that
moment?
they were right about that all
Yeah.
their lives. They're not just like change it just because
Exactly. Because you're woke.
everyone else is enlightened.
no, but here's the thing.
Just
like,
because you figured
my-
out it's
my-
not cool to
like,
hate people because
I
they
was
color
born
their
in the
skin doesn't
80s.
mean they have to.
I was born in the 80s. My worldview, like, maybe is set, like, 90s-ish on some things, but, like,
That was a real rough time for this country, the 90s.
no, it wasn't. Like, that's the thing. Like, things were Gucci, baby.
I did not have sexual relations.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we were so pissed that someone got a blowjob in the Oval Office. Like,
Like, the early 90s was kind of fucked, if you kind of think about it. But then the late 90s...
how do you think about that?
Well, I mean, like,
The
so you
Ninja
had,
Turtles told you to stay off of drugs. So
you had...
That they did.
No.
I'm sorry.
He wanted to eat that. I don't know. What the
Well, honestly, it didn't land in the fire because I'm a shit shot.
I just
so,
wanted a little puff of this
So-
cigar.
well, it
You
kind
had,
of tastes
what,
burnt.
you had in the
towards
early
end.
90s, you had Rodney King.
very acidy.
Rodney King. You had...
Is this what it's acid
OJ.
like?
Shut up, Jay.
I see
Is that-
colors.
This is a quote acid cigar. I'm like, is this acid?
I hear
Is it
colors.
made of acid?
You'll find out in a minute.
And your vomit.
R30.
Dude, I only smoke cigars, the beloved.
I'm making a mistake right now.
You're gonna have
smoking
a
this cigar.
heartburn.
Oh no, I'm just gonna be laid up. Early morning turkey hunting tomorrow. I will see you off the roost.
No, we're all stacking up on that one trail tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm
We
not.
gotta find
There's
one
gonna be 8
turkey.
people. We're gonna march.
No,
it.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm dragging my 5-year-old to a blind that's set up.
I'm gonna...
Hopefully it doesn't blow away again.
I purposely didn't buy a license on Sunday,
Yeah.
so I would
This is
not
kind
have
of
to-
good.
Dude, it's amazing.
Oh boy.
I'm good.
And that's at the end.
So you have to buy it daily when you're out of state?
Yeah, you can buy... I mean, I'm not
You
gonna...
can buy a full.
You can buy an annual, but...
But it's more,
But they
a
give
lot
you
more
they
expensive.
give you a daily that's
Yeah,
way
I mean,
less.
it's like $36.
for
a
2
day.
days. No, 2 days.
No, a
Is
day.
it a day?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's
For
not
out
that
of state.
bad. But, so...
Yeah, but from residential prices to
Oh, I was
out of
just-
state is absurd.
I don't know, man.
All of our license.
I had to upgrade to the big game plus play the Louisiana turkey, and
Me
I
too.
had a duck license, so I had to pay $20 for the season,
Yeah. Our license.
which for me ended up being for the season's 2 days.
How much?
For me.
Yeah, dude.
How much does a license like? So if I wanted to hunt everything and fish in the state of Louisiana, how much would that cost?
As a resident? Or
As a
not?
resident, yeah,
$40.
$40.
It's cheap though. I mean,
No.
it's not.
Are you
it's
fucking
not
kidding
like
me?
How many
No.
As a
Powerball
resident-
tickets do you get with that?
But
No,
for
no.
500, you can have all of it forever.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lifetime.
Yeah.
right.
500 is a
Instead of-
$500 is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
$1,000 in Texas.
Well, first of
Well,
all,
think.
you have
couple
a lot
things.
more to hunt in Texas too.
Our licenses fees, hopefully, I'm pulling that the legislature passes the bill to raise our license fees.
Yeah, probably shouldn't it?
They do. It's a
Um,
problem. They're underfunded.
It's crazy. In
But-
the state of Texas, for me to get my super combo, that's I can do anything I want.
Yeah, just
is
raw.
about $150.
Yeah, it ain't that here.
It's not. It's less than that here. But
120.
I don't know.
Actually, I
Like,
think
is
what
it 40? Is it
actually.
like 70?
It's
Whatever.
It's like $50-$60. It's nothing crazy.
It's really
I
not a
spent
big deal.
76 to come hunt turkeys
Yeah.
this year.
You,
This
you
thing.
know, you spent $76 to like think you're hunting
Yeah.
turkeys.
Exactly.
to drive around 52,000 acres
To pretend you're.
and right now,
and see one bird
And see
15
one
yards
bird.
off the car.
and then we got out and it disappeared.
How
Yeah.
close was that bird to y'all?
about 15
literally
yards off
15
the
Oh, it
car.
was
I mean-
close.
Like somebody could
close?
have shot it out of a window.
yeah.
Like
Wow.
probably from here to like that tree.
You can't drink this beer anymore.
Because you spit on it?
I just spit on the top of your beer. I'm so. Abe's got it like. Actually, I gave this beer to Abe as like an extra one before we
fine.
did this, and I just accidentally.
Nothing's fucked here, bro.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I feel bad
Why?
because I spit on top of a beer
it's-
that was
It's
slotted for you.
Keystone Light.
Yeah, but
It's already made of
It'll be
spit.
okay. Yeah.
It's gonna be fine here.
It's made of spit.
all right.
Yeah, it's
Here's your spit beer.
hooker spit beer.
Which
Yeah.
did y'all know? Vernon Parish is the home of 3 strip clubs.
No.
We're in Vernon Parish. Louisiana.
Where's he pull this out?
I'm just saying.
No.
I have never been, but I have
I know
recently.
it's home to a Hampton Inn, and I know it's home
That
to
Hampton
a
Inn
good
was
breakfast
nice,
place.
except
Market basket.
we stopped the story
Yeah, we
at me
rabbit trailed.
chasing the freaking
We rabbit
bird,
trailed.
which
hard.
was for me. Like I was on the mountaintop. I was like, man, could have slaughtered this bird.
Oh, so
Didn't-
we can just
whatever.
cut everything else out in between.
We
then.
haven't even
Oh.
gotten to this.
No,
Friday
right,
night.
right.
God, dick.
The rabbit
gotta do
trail
that.
is a listeners of this podcast are just like, yeah, no. We understand that this is just like
This is
we're talking
one
about
guy.
one thing. You started talking about something else. Then you started talking about something else.
We went all
Then you
the
started
way
talking
from,
about something else. Then you
Yeah.
started talking about the original thing. Then you went to the third thing you talked about. Then you
And now
came
you're
back,
back.
and
Yeah.
now you're back again. Yeah.
It's called
So-
stream of consciousness.
yeah. This is
So, I
rabbit trail.
personally was on the mountaintop because, you know, I didn't kill that bird, but I was like, I have this whole theory that is unproven. I have an unproven
Clearly.
theory. I have a hypothesis. My
For wild
tags
turkeys.
is my theory that I'm wrong, but I have this theory that with southeastern in southern states, eastern turkeys, the world is changing. That's proven. Dr. Mike Chamberlain, a bunch of others, like objectively, like the landscape of hunting turkeys is changing. So I think as turkey hunters, we need to change with it. And I think one of the ways to do
sounds
that,
like communism.
that's not communism. What?
Change. Communism.
Wow.
Free market turkey.
Free market turkeys.
All right.
If I pay this turkey $20, he better show up.
And get a headache. I paid you to get shot in the head. That's communism.
When buying a hunting license, I expect to kill something.
Exactly.
I feel like we need
A
to
death ticket.
start like changing our concept of like what turkey hunting is. Like sit, call, gobble, bring them in, shoot, whatever. Like that interlude is shifting a little bit. And I think that a successful turkey hunter in the South has to have within his repertoire, outside of the calling normal situation, which you gotta have all that, is like a deer hunting perspective, like deer hunt turkeys, right?
Put a feeder out, sit in a stand.
No feeders,
Oh.
F you.
My bad.
And it's like, you got to learn intimately how the turkeys use the land and how they interact to pressure and how they, like, you're driving down the road, car passes, what's the turkey do? It busts across the
Kills
road,
itself.
but does it
Yeah.
like run out a mile? Does it tuck in 10 feet? Like, that's,
I mean, here, 10 feet might as well be a mile.
Yeah.
but then,
not getting through those woods.
and this has happened to me several times out here on this property, 10 feet means they're coming right back out. So do you drive past, step out, still hunt in, tuck in, to the first cut, and like wait for that turkey then to like pop back out into the road. Like there's just like there are approaches that I think we need to, as turkey hunters, be more open to than like the calling in gobble situation.
Well, especially when they're not gobbling.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we've probably only heard hens.
I've not heard
This
one gobble
Yeah.
the entire time.
I can tell you, out of 2 years of hunting this property now, I've heard a gobble once.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a gobbling session, like this bird and I working, and then it got boogered up. Another hunter came in on a separate cut, and whatever, like public land situation, whatever. It was a deal. But it was cool. Like I was calling, bird was gobbling, calling, bird was gobbling.
It's
deal.
fun to have that exchange.
It was cool. That was very awesome. Very awesome. That was early season. We're late now. You know, we're late April.
Totes.
So, which is where we need to be hunting. We don't need to be hunting any earlier, or like than what the season is. You know.
I don't know. I'd like to have some gobbling going on. I wish this thing was fired up.
I get that.
I wish our fire was fired up.
Our fire's
We've been having some fire troubles this weekend.
All right. So I rabbit hole again. So I was on the mountaintop, like had this like opportunity to kill a bird, didn't because whatever. Come back to camp, and we knew we were gonna get some Friday weather.
yeah.
And I was like, all right, it's gonna rain from. It first started out like Friday 10 a.m. and it pushes. And the weird thing about this was, the forecast pushed. It was like 10 a.m. It's gonna start raining. Then it pushed to like 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. But it never pushed it back on the back end of it. So it was always like 5 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah.
Is gonna be done. So like this whole thing just kept getting more and more compressed.
Yeah.
And then it was like 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. excuse me, rain starting. Then 3 p.m. Then 4 p.m. And about 3:30 or so.
Yeah.
3:30, 4 o'clock, it starts raining. The first raindrops that hit me was walking back from trying to chase this bird that I almost hit.
Raining because there was rain on the windshield.
So I'm chasing this bird. It then starts raining. I walk back to the truck. Then we already had camp sort of prep for that. So we get back. It's raining. Brook.
No, it doesn't rain. It's just kind of not
It's
doing
drizzling,
anything.
yeah.
No, it like drizzled a little bit.
and
Stop.
And then they
drizzle.
got here because it wasn't raining when y'all got here.
Mm-mm.
Not much.
Not at
No.
all.
Nope. None.
No, we made it just in time.
Yeah.
They show up.
Well,
We get
don't know.
gear
I mean,
situated.
it started raining like maybe 30, 20 minutes after y'all got here.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
It's
it
not-
pushed. The rain held off until basically like 5 o'clock. 5:30.
No. 4:30.
I'm gonna say 5:30.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That it's irrelevant for what happened.
But when it did
It was
hit,
fine for a couple hours, and then
yeah.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant, but y'all should argue a little bit more
yeah,
about it.
yeah, definitely. It'll make the podcast.
I think we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
You mean
I'm ready.
you're gonna lose?
I don't lose, bro.
You don't lose. You've lost every fight we've ever had in our life.
That's not true.
It is true. Name an instance where you beat me in a fight.
Tuesday.
No. We weren't together Tuesday.
That's right. You don't remember because you got your ass beat, motherfucker.
You were in a different. No. All right.
I mean, I'll go all night.
All right. Well, you get your ass beat all night. Yep. Yep.
I wanted to tangent into this topic earlier when you were talking about Austin, being a fighter.
Yeah.
And it's funny that y'all were
Oh,
saying,
he's like an actual fighter.
Like, yeah, he fought
Yeah.
with Golden Gloves.
Like he's like a
okay.
tried to get paid to fight
Yeah.
kind of situation.
Well,
he
that's
would
the
not
thing.
want to fight him at all. If he was for real trying to fight you.
I thought y'all were trying to say, like, well, we hang out and get drunk we always end up in a tangle with Austin because he's Austin or whatever.
No.
But it's y'all. And in my mind, I was
No,
thinking...
he's a lot like... He's very similar in that regard.
Okay.
We all get drunk and we like to roughhouse.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's not fighting as much as it is roughhousing.
Because I've seen you two do it before, and it's hilarious. And then a couple weeks ago, me, James, and another friend hung out. And a couple days later, we received a picture and a text, and it was me standing over James in his kitchen. He's on his back, and I'm like trying to help him up. And I was like, I don't remember doing that at all.
Not at all.
Most of these things
I have
come
no recollection of that.
I was like, oh shit, yeah.
It
Now
comes
I
from a
remember.
place of just roughhousing. It's just boys roughhousing. Oh, man.
We're not going to talk about James almost falling in
Dude,
the
did y'all
fire.
see that? I almost fell, but I put the stick out in time and it caught me.
Yeah, like fucking... Who are you, like Dick Cavett or something? Dancing in the rain? So we, so you guys get here, and then the rain came.
And then the rain.
And it rained, and it rained, and
God, we
it
were
rained.
so close to getting struck by lightning.
And then a tornado watch, and then a tornado warning.
Yeah.
Couple warnings.
Two warning, one warning. We're like, I think we're gonna be okay on this one, and then the next one came through, and you're like, all right, we're centered up in this bitch now.
The last thing you want to hear inside of a tent with metal poles,
poles.
Yeah, in a wall tent
surrounded
with metal
by
poles.
80-foot trees is a tornado warning going off.
Yeah, and
from
Brooks
your
like,
phone.
or no, it was someone was like, "What's the difference between a watch and a warning?" You're like, "Oh boy."
So yeah, so it rained so hard. Like, I'll be honest, the lightning and the thunder.
For a moment, was a concern.
I was a little concerned about the lightning, and then I just kind of was like, then the rain came, and I was like, I don't give a fuck about. If we're gonna get struck by lightning, we're gonna get struck by lightning.
Whatever.
It's gonna happen.
YOLO.
There was probably 2 places where you saw that flash of lightning and heard that crack like at the same time, and you
The
were like,
crack.
you're
That
like,
was
oh.
not thunder.
No.
That was
No.
like, oh wow, that's like
That
that
was
was
right-
That was here.
right
that was,
here.
Struck a tree like
That's
That was-
around us.
300
right next
yards
to
that
it.
way.
Yeah, that's
300
just,
yards that way.
that is on top of us. And then most of it was 4, 5 miles away, you know. So I was less concerned about that, and then it just started pouring rain.
Deluge.
I mean, where you couldn't see 60 feet, 70 feet, it was just white out rain, and it just poured down rain. It was incredible. Yes, your fire skills are great, James.
Yes, I can do the fire. It's very nice.
just not out of a propane tank.
Yeah.
No, out of the Coleman. Not his
don't
nonsense.
blame the camp chef on this. I
Camp
think you've
chef.
got some bad.
No,
I may need
that
to clear
camp
the
chef
lines out.
and I are gonna fight.
That camp chef worked last weekend.
You ruined it last weekend.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so, Joe.
that thing is garbage.
Are you like moving? Are you getting in the smoke?
Away from the heat.
Brooke just went from one side of the semicircle to the other.
See, I'm cold.
Look, my right leg.
The heat. I might have to move over there.
Yeah, so my right leg is on fire, my left leg
Yes,
is
we can.
freezing.
Go for it.
So you're gonna switch sides?
So I'm just gonna keep
my
doing the horseshoe.
Yeah.
We're
Running
doing
the
Playing
game.
musical
we're
chairs
doing,
over here.
we're doing a little dance here. All right, so
But-
There we go.
it starts storming.
Pouring
Coming hot.
rain. Pouring rain. Enough that it's running. It's starting to pool up around and run through our tent. We're noticing like
Well, let's
we
back
need to
up.
get everything.
We have the wall tent,
yeah.
and then we have like a big like tent with like a regular tent bottom, like tent
Yeah.
tent that you like buy at the store tent.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you buy all of this at the store.
Fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa. I'm trying to be clear for our
store, not
listeners.
Catch some hands.
Yeah.
There's the wall tent that doesn't have a floor, that is like water's running through, but then there's like the dome tents, like
Yeah.
whatever, like
which most importantly housed where you and I were sleeping. So
Yeah.
I was very concerned.
And I didn't give a F where I was sleeping, but, like, the kids were there sleeping. I was like, this is gonna get...
As it started to get whiteout rain condition, the thought of a hotel was just like,
Lingering.
this is where we need to go. We need to leave here. And
But we kept...
in the truck.
We persisted.
we stayed. We kept. So what it's probably about. We were in there. You're right. About 4:30, because about 8:30 we were like, "Fuck all this noise."
We need to get to the truck.
That was the tornado warning.
The second
Tornado warning that squared us right in the center of it, and it was dead calm outside, which was
not a good thing. Anybody who knows anything,
it was a little
that's
green,
a bad thing.
and it was a little dead calm outside. So
the rain had like ebbed.
Dude, the radar was purple
But talk
on
about
top of us.
that's
talk
not
about
good.
the water on the ground at that point.
Yeah, on the ground.
At about 8 o'clock.
We're on a, I guess we're on a.
It's pretty flat.
It's fairly flat here. There's some slopes, but it's fairly flat, and we're not on the low end by any measure. We're not on the highest end, but we're also not on the lowest end. And the water was.
But this whole campsite's high.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
It's
on the
very-
top.
We're on the high side.
We're 300 feet above sea level, which in Louisiana is a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're sitting pretty high and mighty.
So, the water was about shin deep as I was running through.
Mid shin.
Yeah. It was crazy. So,
Yeah. You're just walking around our campsite,
when
and
yeah.
it's 3 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches above your ankle,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh my god, like
This is crazy.
Trying to
We're pulling
transport
gear
stuff
up.
to
Yeah.
like
to the
getting gear up
truck.
on tables, getting gear up on cots, like getting gear up, like getting clothes up.
Brooks dropping his kid's pillow in the water and the
Yeah.
toilet
Drop
paper.
my 5-year-old's pillow in the water. Unbelievable.
Dude, all of your clothes were soaking wet.
God, they were soaked.
You're just
man.
like,
Enter
this is
enter
this
the
is
goat
like-
rope.
Yeah.
Everybody's running around trying to take care of gear.
We got dinner down.
We got a terrible
Beautifully.
dinner down
No, that
because
was
that
good.
camp
steaks
chef
were
sucks.
good, man.
Dick.
It was good.
It was really good.
Whatever. It's garbage.
And then it
James
started.
likes to compare his camp cooking to his house cooking.
No. My camp cooking needs to be the same. That steak needs to be the same as Ruth's.
Yeah, I get it. That's what I'm saying.
F that. Whatever.
You're unreasonable.
That was that was the worst steak I've ever had in my life.
It was
that
not
bad.
the worst steak.
Not the worst.
It
I've
wasn't
had in
that
my
bad.
life.
It was the worst steak I've ever
You're
had.
the only one that didn't eat all of your steak. All the rest of us ate all of the steak.
I ate one bite of my steak and was like, nah. I ate no dinner last night. My dinner was brown. It was bourbon.
Poop?
Bourbon.
Oh, poop.
Shut up. I hate you so much.
Uh,
The end of this podcast is just going to be you and I fighting.
it's gonna be awesome.
Y'all are just going to hear Abe whine. Eh. You know how I know that sound? Because you've never beaten me in a fight.
I have.
Hashtag brother.
Like constantly beat you.
Constantly?
Yeah, like
No.
constantly beat you.
It's been 36 years.
Of getting your ass beat.
Oh, and nothing. You know,
It's not true.
oh, and
Simply not
infinity.
true. Simply not true. Exaggeration. I think that guy in the camp just killed another game.
Yeah, dude, he's beating the shit out of him with.
Like,
Yeah,
curb.
someone
Thank you,
just
curb.
got Lucille to the head.
So we make it to the trucks.
So yeah, we decided to get into the trucks. We divided up. It is Abe and James and Noah in one truck.
Like, the thought was, like,
It is.
from a safety perspective,
Yeah.
we're like, we need to get inside vehicles.
Yeah. And
Yeah, because we're literally in a tornado
Tornado
warning.
Yeah, it was 15 minutes till, like, they were like, in the warning, they're like, in 15 minutes, your shit's gonna get western.
You're gonna die.
Wrecked.
So we're like, alright, let's get in the trucks.
And that So
which
then
seems safer.
James asked me. He was like, "So what do you think? Should we just sleep in the trucks, or should we just go into town?" And I'm like,
Well,
"I'm an adult and I have a job, so let's go to a hotel."
Right. A few minutes earlier, I was like walking around in like the dome tent, whatever that we're all sleeping in, and the sensation that I could equate it to the most is walking in that tent was like walking on a waterbed. It was literally like flowing water underneath us. Like it was crazy sensation. So it was like this is a problem. My kids.
I was going to a hotel with or without you guys. I'll be honest.
So
that was
like,
happening.
We're sleeping in trucks.
I already looked that up. No, I refuse to sleep in the truck. Like only if there was like a survival type perspective would I have slept in the truck.
I mean,
fuck that. No, there's no.
We flirted that line.
No. The survival was like, let's just leave.
Yeah,
and that's what we did.
Fight or flight.
We fly.
In an attempt to figure that out, James had the
you
brilliant
flied it.
idea of running in the rain to bring us a walkie-talkie.
Right. Well, none of our cell phones were working very well at the time. Like, cell phone coverage out here is iffy. So I was like, oh, my son just got 2, like, kid walkie-talkies. Let's put them between the trucks. And that worked about as well as one could expect.
As well
for
as
kids
setting up a camp in
walkie-talkies.
a tornado.
I was just like, why do y'all keep calling back and not talking? Because it was like, bleep, 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 rah, rah, rah. Like, hear you talking. And then I was like, they're not saying anything, though.
Yeah,
like,
really.
hold the button down.
I
was like,
it wasn't my first time using a
I
walkie-talkie.
know. I was like, what is this shit? And then I was like, calling over there, like, are you speaking to me? What's the situation? They're like, you're doing the same thing to me. I was like, no, I'm not. These walkie-talkies were effed. That was wild.
Yeah.
So then we just sort of like,
let's go.
There's a couple hotels in a town about 20 miles away from us. 18 miles, whatever. 20 miles away from us. They're like, let's just drive that way.
I don't think I've been happier than just like
That decision point.
That
we're
was
like,
an excellent
this is
decision.
awesome. I'm gonna sleep in a bed tonight.
I had dry
Maybe.
clothes in the morning.
Yeah.
At that point, maybe.
No, I knew I was sleeping in a bed that
Yeah.
night. There was no way. We were going to a hotel.
Yeah, so then we got to the hotel. There were some logistical on the way whatevers that we don't need to get into.
I mean, we're just trying to book a hotel on the fly.
Right, but it was like signal and like even just like pulling up on maps like where this thing is was an issue. Whatever. Like I ended up like calling my wife. Whatever. We got it worked out.
Yeah.
We got to the hotel.
Yeah, Lex or whatever.
We got our bags
Took care
in.
of us.
Liz.
Huh?
Liz.
Liz, that's it.
Yeah, Liz at the Hampton Inn in Leesville, Louisiana.
Yeah, shout out to
Get up.
Liz.
Sweetheart, you done us right.
We just all got upstairs and we drank. And
The kids got into bed.
Yeah.
My son was so passed out.
He was asleep before
He was
we
out.
even left this place.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So I had to, in the pouring rain, had to pull the car seat from my truck, pull it out, and I was like, man, this thing's, if I get it, like, how am I going to get this car seat from my truck to his truck, which wasn't, like, parked right next to it. You know, it was what, 20 yards?
No. I mean, 10 feet.
We were like
No, it
we were
wasn't
next
10
to each
feet.
other.
Right next to us.
We weren't parked, like, right next to each other.
We were parked fairly
Like
close.
7 feet from each other.
No. Fuck y'all.
I mean, I don't know.
It was enough where I was like concerned. So I took my rain jacket off, draped it over this thing, Because it's deluge.
No, I get it. It was pouring rain.
Oh,
So
God,
that then
it's
it wasn't going to be this like soft ass like mop of a car seat.
No, I get it.
20 yards away.
70 yards. Just like dash.
That had to be. That's
Like the
70
O.J.
feet.
Simpsons of dads.
parked next to one another. O.J. Simpson of dads. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You run good.
White Bronco dad.
Yeah, White Bronco did really well.
Well,
Yeah.
let's just call it quarter mile. You still gotta like.
Quarter mile.
You still gotta actually install it properly.
Which
The
I
door
did.
open. Yeah.
Right, with the door open. It
Oh
has to be
no,
open.
no. I figured that out. I pivoted. I put it in, closed the door, and got it installed like facing whatever.
Yeah.
I did it without the door open.
Mission completed.
I yogaed that bitch. Got it anchored in, strapped tight, like you couldn't move that thing.
No, I had when I pulled it out so I could put a cooler in there.
So we did do that today.
You pulled my the kid seat out so you
Oh,
could put a cooler
absolutely.
beer in.
Yeah,
we
of
drink
course.
beer all day.
Yeah, of course.
Allegedly.
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 Hashtag lawyered.
So then we get to the Hampton Inn. Everything was great. We're hanging out. We're drinking. We're dry.
Kids are asleep.
Kids are in bed.
Clothes in the dryer.
And then, yeah, clothes are dry.
Then there was a splash.
And then the fucking power went out in the whole hotel.
I'm so glad I
The
was
building loses power.
The building lost power.
Like what the?
and that
fuck?
was like, all right, it's time for bed now. Like, it's dark in here. We should
I
just
don't
go to
remember
sleep.
what happened after that.
I went to
Besides,
sleep.
we went to bed, right?
I was pooping when the
Wait, what?
I was taking a poop when the power went off.
Man.
I was just in the
Man,
bathroom.
I was I was real drunk.
And then you like the power goes out. I'm on my phone pooping, and I'm just like, all right,
Now
no
you're
big
really
deal.
in the blue glow.
No, it's not a big deal. I'm just like, all right, well, something power is out because the light switch is on the inside of the door and the door's locked, so no one is fucking with me. I know that. So,
Right?
then you knock on the door and you're like, hey, are you all right in there? The power went out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Still shitting, man.
I'm still pooping. It's not, I'm good. I poop. I finish.
I don't have a lot of
I
recollection.
think I walked
of
back
this.
over to y'all's room. We got adjoining rooms, and was just like, I'm out. Like, I'm going to sleep.
What did I do?
You pretty much came to bed.
All right.
Yeah. Because you were,
I was out, man.
asleep.
Yeah.
I
We were all.
I remember when the power all went out, and I was just like, I need to go to bed.
Mhm.
At that point, we were well into several bottles of bourbon, lots of beers. Like, life was getting a little.
I just remember we
Wiggling.
were like, we're going to Waffle House in the morning.
Yeah.
That was all. I'm not eating,
But
anywhere except
then
at a restaurant.
Brooke was like, no, we're not going to Waffle House. We're going to go find some good breakfast.
And we
I was
did
like,
find good
dude,
breakfast.
that was
Waffle House is a
great
good
breakfast.
breakfast. He's like, no.
Gotta be a mom and pop around here.
Gotta do something different.
Toops.
And then we went to Toops, and
Man.
Brooke, you were right.
It was
That
good.
place was
Mea
good.
culpa.
It was
Mea culpa.
delicious.
That bacon looked stupid good.
That bacon was
That
was
so
legit.
good. My hash brown bowl.
I wasn't crazy about the hash browns.
No, me neither.
I was not. I really thought they would have had that, like...
They didn't. Their
They were
flat
little-
top or whatever they were cooking on was not hot enough.
No.
No.
It wasn't seared enough, but which was perfect for what I was eating with. Because my hash brown bowl with like everything, and then like the fried eggs on top, and the yolks and.
There's only like two ways to fuck up hash browns. You either your fire's not hot enough, or you don't have enough salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd
Like-
be like if
You can
James
fix
cooked...
one of those
Yeah,
if James cooked hash browns on the
on the camp shelf.
camp shelf.
I want to crawl in a bowl and die.
It was so good.
It
So
was
good.
really good.
And then we came back here and we hunted all day
Yeah.
Oh,
and saw nothing.
we drove around
We drove
all day.
around.
Whatever. We
all
got.
day.
I had 2 stalks.
I burned through about a half a tank of gas today.
Easy.
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 Yeah.
I burned.
We covered about 80%
I had
of
2
this
socks.
place, though.
Yeah.
Man. Like,
We worked. We've worked.
And then we came back. We had a good sit, and And then we're here talking to you guys.
And some amazing spaghetti.
Yeah, that spaghetti was legit. It was good.
Spaghetti was fine.
It's good. It's alright.
So,
I'm proud of the boys. The boys worked hard. So, like, the blackberries cover this property.
a little late this year, but
They're a little late, but we have
there's a good crop of them.
I have about so far, and tomorrow we're going to get out and, like, tomorrow's berry picking day.
Yeah.
I want to
For me, it's
fill,
not.
I want to fill that
I will not be
Nalgene
picking berries
up.
tomorrow.
But I have about a fourth of a Nalgene full of berries now,
Yeah.
blackberries. And what I want to do, and we did this last year. You were here. You and I did this, Abe.
Yeah.
Last year, we hunting. We hunted a little earlier than what it is now.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like a week earlier, whatever. But like
But
it was
hotter.
It was a
last
lot
year.
warmer last year, and the berries were just popping crazy last year. So I brought back like a good amount of berries.
Yeah.
We made, and I also had, I had some like dewberry or blackberry bushes like in my yard that were like
Doing well.
doing well, and I was like, I'm not cutting these back, whatever. And they had berries on them, and we picked them, and we got about 2 mason jars
Out of
just like what was in my yard, and then combine that with like what we got last year here, which was like, I think we filled like about a third of a gallon Ziploc baggie
Yeah.
of it. Like we made 2 big jars of blackberry jam,
Yeah.
and that stuff was real good.
Yeah.
And
good.
so tomorrow's goal is just like, I want to fill an entire Nalgene full of blackberries.
I'm gonna give you an Nalgene and see if you can fill 2.
Fill 2?
Yeah.
You take one, I'll take one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to do no work for them.
Okay. You gotta turn it into jam,
Yeah, I can do that.
which is super easy.
Yeah.
It's real easy.
Yeah.
Super
I'm
easy.
gonna do that. It's good
And
on
then-
ducks.
And then Brooke,
So good on ducks.
Brooke Bourgeois' wife makes the best biscuits in the world. Period. End of story. Just stop the competition. Just is what it is.
Can't disagree.
Right? I mean, Heather Bourgeois crushes the biscuit. And I hate biscuits. I don't like them.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't
No
know.
one understands
No
it.
sense.
I didn't know that about
You
you,
don't like
and I don't
biscuits.
want to know that about
He
you.
doesn't like crab meat either.
I also
That
don't.
is beyond absurd.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird
You
thing.
don't like crab meat?
So here's the thing about
It's
biscuit.
so good.
Let me
unbelievable.
differentiate.
So you don't like crab meat?
Alright?
Because of biscuits?
Can you imagine
Because
I
of
was trying to create
a
differentiate.
biscuit covered in crab meat? Oh my god.
Some
So
butter
good.
and some homemade jam?
So good.
So here's the thing. Heather's biscuits, the best biscuit. It is so good, like, it's just money. It's amazing. Eat that
James
all day.
loves my wife's biscuits.
Yeah.
I don't like no other
Biscuit
biscuits.
in the basket.
Or
I
gets the hose again.
cannot, and I hate this. Like, I don't care to like any like other biscuits. Like it's just like not even thing. Like if people are like, "Oh, you don't like biscuits?" Like fuck you. Like eat a dick. I don't care. Whatever. Buy whatever. The fact that I don't like crab meat actually bothers me because I love everything about
I do
crabs.
not like crab meat.
That's what I'm.
It's weird, and I don't like.
but
It's
you like crawfish.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is like you will eat
Yeah.
crawfish,
love crawfish.
but won't eat crab meat.
It is my least.
Do you like lobster?
I haven't eaten a bunch of lobster, and it's like, all right,
So would you eat crab meat over
nothing.
the steaks you cooked the other night?
I would eat the steak over that. I would eat.
Really?
Here's the thing, Brooke's seen this. I hate this about myself. I want to just be into crabs because
It's
like,
so good.
it's so good.
It's phenomenal.
Like,
It's
crab is good. Like,
really
everything
is.
about crabs, like crab boil, like catching crabs, like all the things I love.
catching crabs.
Oh, just the
Catching crabs
meat
is
by
so much
itself
fun.
is incredible.
Whatever. But it's like, it's a thing, like you can put a blindfold on me and be like, here's a piece of sushi. One has crab in it, one doesn't. I'm going to almost throw up.
That's
So
not even
really-
that's not even the real crab though.
That's just imitation, yeah.
It's not. But, Brooke, how many times have I been at your house when Eleanor and Bobby have boiled crabs or whatever, and I'm just like, I try it and I can't.
So what is it? The texture? Is it the
It's
taste? Is it?
all of it. I don't know what it is. It's just like a thing. It like instantly
So
creates
insane.
a revulsion in my mouth.
I've never heard that.
Look,
in my life.
so weird.
If you told me I can eat crabs half as often as I do now, versus twice the crawfish I eat now, I would pick, or only one or the other. I would pick crabs.
All day long.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Over
All day.
crawfish.
Brooke, confirm this for me. Like, I've tried it. Not
I
just
don't-
once. Like, I've
Just don't
worked
get
at
it.
I
it.
don't doubt that you've given it a go.
I have, like, an intense,
dislike of it.
like, aversion
Yeah.
of something that I really want to like. Like, in my head, I want to like it.
I wanted.
But my
that
body
was like,
just,
for
like,
a really
rejects
long
it.
time. Sushi was that way for me. Like I wanted to
always
like
loved
sushi for a really long time and could not. I mean, this has been like when I was a kid, like
15 years ago.
15, 20 years ago. I didn't like sushi, but I wanted to, and then I just was like, I like sushi now, and
I
it was
love
like
sushi,
so good.
man.
I crave sushi so often.
Yeah.
We've been talking about crabs so long now. I'm just imagining that big ass knuckle from the big
Yes.
front
Big
fin.
claw.
Yeah. And I just want to like, holy fuck.
Dip that fucker in some butter.
So Abe, have you had poke?
Yeah.
Dude, poke. I eat poke probably twice a week.
What the fuck is poke?
It's sushi, but it's in a bowl, man. Like
With
it's
seaweed and
It's like going
so
to
good.
Chipotle for Mexican food and putting it in a bowl instead of
Yeah.
a burrito, but like it's all Hawaiian.
The
Like
company I worked for did like had like a cafeteria that I work for now, well, before COVID and everything. Had a cafeteria and like they had a sushi station. And they made bowls, and I fell in love with them there.
dude,
It
poke
was
bowls
so
are
good.
the most incredible thing ever.
It's like lettuce, rice. It's like put a rice ball down on the bottom of the bowl, lettuce.
See, I've never had lettuce in it.
Mine had lettuce in it, seaweed, like crab or whatever you
Yeah,
wanted.
so mine's coconut rice, imitation crab, masago tamago,
Yes.
spicy tuna, and
like
what's
eel
the
sauce.
fish egg? Yeah, it's got wasabi aioli, a
Yeah.
spicy
Oh.
aioli.
And it's
Dude,
so
that is the
good.
best thing ever.
It's like a sushi bowl.
Did
Yeah,
Tommy
so-
die?
No, he went to
Tommy went to
bed.
bed. Tommy called that like 10 hours ago. He's like, about 10:30, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's going on, I'm out.
So they have poke rolls too, which is like
That's
basically
like the
just
cone.
sushi rolls without cutting it
Yeah.
into.
Yeah.
I tried that the other night, and I actually hated it because of the seaweed.
Yeah.
And I used to like
That's like
seaweed.
the cone thing, right?
Oh, it's like a burrito. It's just like
Yeah, it's a big burrito, yeah.
of sushi, and I used to love seaweed, and I got an aquarium,
And you were like, I'm out.
and I went out of town for a week, and it destroyed my aquarium.
Oh.
And it was because I'd like never done it before, but I had a
Yeah.
saltwater aquarium, and I didn't know that you weren't supposed to keep the light on all day.
Oh, okay.
And so algae was growing
Just
out of control.
blooming.
So my fish were dying like crazy. And so anyway, I finally got around to cleaning it out. And top 3 worst smells I've ever smelled in my entire life.
That's terrible.
And so now every time I eat anything
Gary
with a fishy taste or anything, and I can smell that algae smell again, dude, turns me. I'm like, ugh.
Imagine your pet fish.
Dude, that fish.
You're imagining Nemo?
So one, yeah, right.
Oh, Bob. I love
So one of them died, and I was like, okay, but he's been like acting a little weird.
Yeah.
Then my 2 clownfish died, and I was like, clownfish are really hard to kill. Like, so I was like, something's wrong. And then I had a 6-line wrasse, and that fish, I was like sitting there watching my fish tank for like an hour, and that fish like went in the corner. I could see him literally like fading out, like dying. I was like, "You're not fucking dying, man." I spent like a good 10 minutes trying to grab him with the net and like put him in this bowl and rushed him to like the fish store. And I was like, "Please
Save this.
Save this fish. Yeah. This is my last fish. Please save this fish." And he ended up putting him in the tank, and he was fine. And but that was like a very. Like, I was, like, on the drive there.
Were you gonna, like, make a fish stick out of it? You were deep by some bitch? You're like, I got you, fish nugget.
I got you. On the way to the fish store, he, like, was dying in the jar that I had.
Yeah.
And I literally just reached my hand in there and was like, no. And I, like, moved him around, and he started swimming again. I was like, you were not dying. Like you're the last one. Like, you were staying alive. Don't care what happens. But yeah, I can't, like, eat seaweed or anything like that anymore. It's just the most putrid.
It's like Jaeger
smell.
Like a seaweed salad, you're just like, no.
No way.
I love seaweed. Like,
That's
I've gotten I've gotten to where I'm like, holy shit, this is delicious. Yeah.
I like those seaweed.
It wasn't for
chips,
COVID.
You ever had those?
Yeah, those are good.
Awesome. They were awesome.
The sheets?
Put it that way, yeah.
The seaweed.
Just the dried seaweed.
Yeah, the nori or whatever.
I guess it's like chips. Like
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Like that
it's seaweed.
That's your church, bitch.
Motherfucker. Get your job, bro.
Man, we were in DC last year and we ate this like clam soup with seaweed and lemongrass and butter. It was like a legit Japanese restaurant. Like, DC is known for its
Japanese,
international food. And we went to like a legit Japanese restaurant. And yeah, freaking clams, lemongrass, butter, seaweed. It was incredible. Like some what's that? Is it sassafras? Like the yeah.
That's what's root beer.
Saffron. That's
saffron.
Yeah, there you
Shit's
go.
like $80.
Yeah. So saffron.
Saffron's like one of the most expensive things in the world.
That's incredible.
Yeah, there was some of that in there, and you don't know that. Like, that's an amazing thing. You don't know that it exists, and it's probably been in some dishes that you've eaten at fancy ass restaurants, but you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And then, so we bought some. Now we're like throwing it in some regular ass Tuesday night dishes.
You're like, tuna casserole with saffron.
Yeah. About a $15 box of saffron. Yeah. I've been having
$15 worth of saffron's like a sniff.
Yeah, it's like your Tuesday night dinner right there.
I've been I made this like meal with like couscous the other night.
Couscous.
Oh man, couscous is freaking delicious.
Yeah, it is.
I made this like soup with couscous, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good, so good.
It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck couscous is, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's just like a pearl type rice, right? It's like a pasta. It's like pasta.
Yeah, well, how the fuck do you make it? Because they're so tiny.
You just
There's
grated pasta, huh?
I assume it's through a screen. Just shaving it through a screen.
I'm really waiting for a turkey to just walk out amongst us.
I mean,
So, did you used to go to Chelsea's?
Yeah.
Back in the day? And so they shut down, right?
right?
And now they've opened the beer gardens right at the end of the street of the house that I sold
Right?
a couple years ago.
Right?
So that's the same owner, and he reintroduced Chelsea's grilled cheese sandwiches, which are like
The
focaccia,
grilled cheese sandwich is
Yeah.
the best, probably the best thing on the menu.
focaccia bread and several different cheeses. It's insanely good, and they make their own homemade tomato basil soup.
I was about to say, you gotta have tomato basil with grilled
It's-
cheese, man.
Unbelievable. So they reintroduced that sandwich at this beer garden.
Oh, you getting smoked.
Yeah. And now they are expanding their food menu to include more of those Chelsea originals, which would be that like couscous, veggies like couscous that Heather freaks out about.
Yeah.
So
You remember Chelsea's?
if you're a fan of
steak night?
couscous and you're in Baton Rouge, go to the beer gardens on Government Street.
Sounds good.
Gucci. Do you remember Chelsea's steak night?
No, I never did that.
You know what I'm talking about?
I've never even heard of that. And
Yeah.
like Chelsea's had so many different facets of it.
Yeah.
I've heard, but yeah, that's not one.
They used to have this it was like Tuesdays or like Thursday, like whatever. It was like a random day of the week. It was a ribeye steak with like a veg. It was like two sides. It was like prefix, whatever. And it was like $10 or $12, like something like not a lot of money. With like a very nice steak dinner situation. Like $10. I think it was like $10. It's like $9.99. And the steak was very good. This may have contributed to the reason why that place isn't around anymore. But their steak night was so good.
Sounds like it.
Like you just show up with a $10 bill and you get
Solid
a
food.
good
that's incredible.
ribeye
Sounds good.
and two sides. It was so awesome.
Wow.
I miss those places.
The greatest steak I've ever had. I've had a lot of steak. Is at Kenny's Woodfire and Grill in Addison.
Kenny's is good.
Kenny's is beyond expensive,
Yeah,
but it is the
It's
greatest
delish.
food I've ever had.
it's delish.
The best
I
steak I've
crave
ever
that
had
play.
was on a bayou, on the bank of a bayou. Brook can probably tell us what bayou it was.
I've had some steaks all across the country doing consulting work, and the steak you're talking about is my number one.
It's Brook Bourgeois' number one steak.
I know
It's
exactly,
my number one steak.
exactly what you're talking about.
I've had steaks at the best steakhouses. Like, name the best places to eat a steak in Louisiana, like restaurant-wise. South Louisiana, like Baton Rouge and New Orleans. I've eaten a steak there. The steak beat that. Brooke, and a buddy and I got in some canoes, and we did a little paddling off and just the Chafalot Basin. Found some dry land, had some snakes on it, and we camped. I hammock camped, and Brooke and Dylan and they got in a tent, and we found like a little strip of land, probably 30 yards wide, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other end, like it got soupy.
Yeah,
Super soupy on
it
the
was
other, about
swamp
30.
on the other side, for sure.
I don't know what happened on the other side, but it got soupy on the about 30 yards in. And we just had this little bank, you know, and we slept, you know, made camp, and we made campfire, and I put a grate, like a grill grate, over just a coal fire. We brought some ribeyes out there, and that was the best steak I've ever had in my life.
Well, we worked on that coal bed for over an hour.
Oh, we've developed.
By the time we threw the steaks on that grate, it was as hot as a fire can get.
Like, it could not have been hotter.
And as maybe it was something to do with like maybe how long those
Yeah, we weren't even like we weren't like
and it was
we had a
only
couple
like
beers.
a mile. Yeah,
Right.
like we weren't like
a couple beers, a couple mile or two like paddle. It wasn't like
Yeah.
we were just dying.
Right.
but it wasn't like we were sitting around like we were like drunk, whatever.
I think sometimes
I
you
didn't
get
even
like
have a buzz.
I think sometimes you get like a perfect slice of meat,
Oh yeah.
and
Where all of things come together and work out.
yeah, like when you throw it on, it's kind of gotten room temperature because it's been sitting out for an hour, waiting for that cold bed to get 1,000 fucking degrees, and then you got your grate 1 inch from the cold bed, so you're hitting
that grate was
all
right
1,000
there,
of those
yeah.
degrees. Yeah,
Everything about it was perfect.
it was unbelievable, man.
The Maillard, or the browning on that steaks, was so intense.
Yeah,
It was so perfect.
it was and it was like butter. Just I mean,
Like butter?
I think we got super lucky on the cut of meat for sure.
Right.
The insane temperature on the fire had something to do with
We
it.
worked on that for a while.
Other than those two things, like when it comes to making a steak, it's like, did you put some salt on it?
Yeah.
That's about it.
And that, like, I basically, like, coated each side in Tony sachets. Like, just Tony's. That was it.
Sounds good.
And just, like, seared the living hell out of it from a campfire. Coal. Some campfire coals that, like, we worked at like, we dug a regular campfire, and then I dug, like, an offshoot.
Yeah.
Like,
Pull some coals aside.
2.5 feet wide, like, little chute off of it, and we just kept pulling coals up, putting, like, little pieces of wood on that to, like, burn, whatever, just, like, develop this crazy coal bed off this offshoot of the fire, that then we, like, which we not measured, but, like, laid down the grate, and we're like, alright, let's, like,
This will be a good distance.
yeah, like, sort of, like, dig this little chute
Totally.
to respect the width of this, like, grill grate that I just pulled off my grill.
Yeah.
Like, you know, nothing special. Just, like, something I grabbed off my grill that I had, you know?
Yeah.
And that, like, we just kept working, like, red and orange coals in there, just, like, building this base. And we just built this base of coals so that, like, at a certain point, you have incredibly hot coals an inch off of your grate,
Yeah. Just
and you just throw that steak on there, and it's
Toasty.
It's so much better than anything you get in a restaurant. It's not even.
grilled
Yeah.
meat, like,
It's-
over fire is the best.
it's so good.
Like, when I at my deer at the deer lease, we got all that post oak down there, and all started fire.
my gosh, with the post up.
And just build just the same kind of thing with post oak, and we've got a grate that flips over the fire, and same thing. It's just so good. Out there in South Texas. So Well, guys, we're nearing the end of the evening for ourselves. We appreciate you guys staying and listening to us.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, please subscribe to the podcast. Review the podcast. Check out our YouTube channel for all kinds of cool content. Our social media for daily hunting and fishing content. And appreciate you guys listening.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
you
thanks for
greatly.
having me, Ed.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wonderful.
Fun.
Turkey Camp 2021.
Turkey camp.
I say we do 2022 in Texas and hunt Rios.
Yeah, Rios. These Easterns are hard.
Let's go hunt Rios.
Alright, let's do it. You're in charge.
Done.
I was in charge of this one. You're in charge of the next one.
That's the next
We'll
one.
alternate Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright, you either fly to Dallas or you drive. But it's 4 hours from
No.
Dallas.
Where are we hunting Rios in Dallas?
No. You have to come to Dallas.
And then
and
we
then
go?
It's 4.5 hours.
Where are we going 4.5 hours? Mass?
No.
No.
Public land.
Where?
In Texas.
Okay. Northern-ish? West Texas?
Yeah.
Alright, that's fine.
West
Do
Texas.
it.
I'm down with it.
We're going to hang out with our boy Trevor.
Lawrence?
Yeah. Because he's going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
We'll see what happens.
They don't have enough draft picks.
We have 10, bro.
Not the first one.
I know. I think we're gonna draft a pretty badass player in the first round.
Who?
I don't know. We actually may trade our pick to the Patriots
What's Dallas going?
with the 10th pick.
Y'all are number 10?
Yeah.
Y'all are done.
Yeah.
Alright, let's end this. I
Alright.
need to get some snacks.
Later, boys.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Stormwater Creek is the best. Grinch, the captain. Aim, the helper. Jordan, the problem solver. I hope you like Stormwater Creek. Stormwater Creek.